Yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. This is another film breakdown. Was that 2 and 2 days, 2 and 3 days? Look at us. Look at us. Back to the old ways. Duke at Pitt. Good win by Duke. Not a hangover for Duke like it was for Carolina at Miami. Duke went into Pitt. Pitt hit some shots they haven't hit all year in the first half. Duke weathered the storm, and Duke had a gritty win, and we're going to get right into it.
In Duke colors, wins the tip for John Shire's Blue Devils. Brown is in there for Gumbo with Caleb Foster lobbing it up and getting Brown an early touch.
All right, first set of the game. Let's see what we got here. So looks like it's going to be something for Cam Boozer, but instead Cam Boozer is going to set a screen for a handoff for Caleb Foster and Malik Brown. And Malik Brown straight to the rim. And this is also Cam Boozer. If Cam Boozer's guy would have helped out on Malik Brown, if he would have bumped Malik Brown on this roll, Cam Boozer is there on the wing for a catch and shoot. There was no bump. Malik Brown gets a free roll to the rim. Easy two for Duke to start the game.
Sitbander out with a left wrist injury. John Shire told us he suffered it in the North Carolina game, even though he only played 16 minutes and fouled out. So Malik Brown, the start for Duke, with snaps his seven.
So Duke obviously had a little bit of a slow start. This is out of a timeout from John Shire, and John Shire is so good at drawing up something out of timeouts. He has been for a while now, but this is pretty cool. It's pretty cool play design where it's just a cross screen, down screen. Isaiah's going to set the cross screen for Cam Boozer, and then he's going to come off a down screen by Malik Brown. If Cam Boozer's not open, Dame's going to hit Isaiah Evans at the top of the key. But Isaiah does a good job. Might have moved a little bit on the screen for Cam Boozer. Dame hits the big fella and flushes it for two. Again, really good, really simple, but really effective play design by John Shire.
Whenever they're struggling, they have a guy they can throw the basketball to, whether it's on the perimeter or on the interior, and Cameron Boozer normally delivers.
Pitt has started out 4 for 5. The stitched together Panthers team down its leading scorer in Brandon Cummings, who's just 3 straight with ankle issue. Cialeppa.
I mean, that's just, that's how the first half was. Pitt was hitting threes that they don't normally hit, and then they shot the same threes in the second half, and they had the loudest clanks I've ever heard. I don't know if it was because of ESPN's mics or what, but they hit some clankers in the second half. And so Duke weathered that storm, the three-point storm in the first half. But, again, just kind of bad luck, if you will, in the first half against Pitt. And then Pitt fell back to where they've been all year and could not hit any threes in the second half.
Freshman Omari Witherspoon out for Corin, not a typical three-point shooter. Only hit 9 on the year.
But that's 8 more than what he made last season, so that's improvement.
That's trending upward. 9 for 28. Foster wraps it around to Evans in the corner, hits a 3. But
those two guys had a really good game at Pitt. Caleb Foster, man, when he's aggressive going downhill, he is a difference maker. Really good drive here, driving drift, if you will, on the baseline, finds Isaiah, and Isaiah had a big night shooting the ball. And I want you to look at when Isaiah shoots the ball in these clips and see if you notice anything different than his previous shooting slump this season.
Shots that's on, ready to shoot. That's really been the struggle for the Blue Devils throughout the season. Only made 7 threes against Carolina in that loss, but they've struggled shooting the basketball. They do much more of their domination in the painted area.
Elias Indrositis has it knocked away by Brown. Cialeppa with 3 to shoot. Feeds Dunning. He's got to get it up. Indrositis will, and he hits it.
So this is a good defense possession. And Nick Kaminia, obviously, he's had offensive struggles, especially in the last 2 games. He's kind of hitting that freshman wall. But this was an outstanding defense possession for Kaminia to the very end. And so as much as he has struggled offensively, I wanted to highlight his defensive play here, where he is the main reason Pitt has a shot clock violation. He does a really good job of him and Malik Brown just fights through the screen. Malik goes back. There is no switch. So there's a rescreen. Nick Kaminia runs through the screen. Malik Brown does a good job showing to allow Nick to kind of get back. Nick has active hands. Him and Malik knock it away. Ball is still bouncing around. But now there's 5 seconds left on the shot clock because Nick Kaminia and Malik Brown are being so physical and aggressive at the top of the key that Pitt could not run their offense. So now Pitt's kind of scrambling. Dame does a good job of closing out to a shooter. Cam Boozer does a decent job as well. I say decent, does a really good job making his guy put the ball on the floor with 2 seconds left. Good job not fouling. And this is where Nick, he played his tail off for 29 seconds, just a little too far away from the shooter and too much room. Luckily, the shot did not count, shot clock violation, but Herminia played a really good defense possession there just until the very end.
Clarence Armstrong immediately whistles to see.
For the Panthers, shooting the basketball extremely well on their home floor and able to take the lead right back.
Caden Boozer into his brother. Cameron out of the double. A cutting Caden will finish.
I said in the last film breakdown against UNC that Duke has to – they've done a good job all year. Just in the UNC game, they kind of fell asleep on making cuts when Cam was doubled. Here, Caden does a good job. He's relocating for a three. He's not cutting right away, which is fine. As long as you're moving without the basketball, it's okay. So he's moving without the basketball, relocating to where his defender has a farther closeout. And instead of settling for a three, Caden's going to do his bread and butter, and that's cutting to the rim. And he did this all game against Pitt and was very effective. And here, just simple action. His brother gets doubled. He moves without the basketball. He cuts. He gets easy 2 points. Good basketball there by Caden.
Cioletta drives on Boozer and couldn't bank it home. Brown on a cut for Boozer.
That's Duke basketball right there. Caden with his cuts and Malik Brown with his passing. Just a really good possession here of slipping that screen. Perfect pass by Malik Brown. Great finish by Caden Boozer with his offhand.
For Duke, which is without both Boozers at the moment. Here's Brown operating as a point center.
And this is just kind of the freshman wall that Herminia is hitting offensively. He just feels like he's not doing anything right, and that's unfortunate. I've been there, and it's a lonely feeling, but he just has to keep grinding through this part of his freshman year where this is a wide open play for Isaiah, and Nick's just rushing his cut here a little too much. He has to let Isaiah go first. Instead, he's kind of going with Isaiah. He's got to wait a half a step or a full step before he leaves, and obviously he gets the pass deflection. The ball rolls out on Isaiah. I think it's an Isaiah turnover. Based off synergy, they called it a turnover on Isaiah, and that's unfortunate because this was, again, good play design. Isaiah is pretty much backdooring this, and Herminia just kind of intercepts the pass. And unfortunately for Herminia, he's not doing anything right now in the last 2 games offensively, but he's got to keep pushing forward and he'll be all right.
Not setting for jump shots to get to the free throw line.
And remember, no Patrick Gumba for Duke tonight with a left wrist issue. Foster, difficult throw.
Dude, I'm telling you, Caleb Foster, when he remembers that he is a big MFing guard and nobody can get in his way going downhill, it's electric. I mean, this is a grown man take. This is high level take. Body bump, you got 2 guys on you, and then you finish reverse layup with the offhand. This is the Caleb Foster that I love to see.
And finish. Charlie, Cameron Boozer is actually underrated.
I would definitely believe he's underrated. And, you know, we had a conversation off air about he hasn't received the attention that Cooper Flagg did a season ago.
There you go again. Caden cuts right when Cam gets doubled. Good job by Caden. And Pitt's not doubling on the catch. They're doubling on the dribble. Just look at the defender timing this. Standing still, staying with Caden. When that ball goes on the floor right here, he's gone. Caden, you got to cut right away. And he does that to where Caleb Foster's defender cannot cut off the cut because Caden's going immediately. So Caden gets the angle, body bump, floater. That's his shot. Again, really good job by Caden Boozer in this game. A lot of role players for Duke played well in this game, exceptionally well, and Caden was one of them.
Pitt has hit 7 threes in this first half. Cioletta breaks a potential 8th.
And one concern for the Panthers, you can't fall in love with that 3.
Foster's had a terrific.
Love that. Again, cannot emphasize that enough. Caleb Foster going downhill in transition, by the way, I need more of it.
First halfway jump shot.
There's Caden Boozer. Harris with a three. That is pure.
Speaking of role players that played exceptionally well, I'm very proud of Darren Harris just stepping up. It's been tough for him to find minutes, and it's very tough to get a rhythm when you don't have minutes like that, consistent minutes. And his minutes from the last 3 minutes of the first half to the first 4 minutes in the second half, that gave Duke the energy they needed from a sluggish start in the first half. And here, just a catch and shoot, and that's what he does, a no-dip three, pure bottoms, and then he gets rewarded to start the second half because of the way he's playing offensively and defensively for Duke.
On the mean streets of St. Christopher School, Baldwin poked away by Sarr. Here's Harris on the run out for Duke. Darren Harris at the bucket.
Great defense by Dame there. Great job by Darren Harris jumping off 2 feet, finishing with the left hand. Again, really good minutes by Darren Harris in this game. I'm very happy for him.
Will score. Pitt's last game Saturday, they were down 34-32 at the half to SMU. Then the Mustangs started the half on a 9-0 run. Duke's got the first.
That looks so easy, and it pretty much is a simple pick and roll, catch and shoot, but there's a little bit more to that. It's a little bit more to that because watch Dame Sarr on the off side, the weak side of the play here. Dame is standing out there, and he's timing a cut. He's not going to cut hard, but he is moving with the screen. When Cam Boozer is going to go set this screen for Caden, Dame is going to cut. And it's not fast by any means, but what it does is it moves the backside of the defense to where his guy can't go run up and try and get a pick six off of this pass to Cam Boozer. It's just 2v2 right here at the top of the key, wing top of the key, as Dame Sarr and Darren Harris are kind of just cutting to where their defenders have to keep honest on guarding those two guys so they cannot be involved in help side at the top of the key. So now what that does, it leaves the floor wide open for Cam Boozer to catch this and shoot this wide open three as Dame Sarr cuts him to the rim. Two guys are on Dame Sarr. Darren Harris is open too. And that simple action, backside action between Dame and Darren Harris leads to an open three for Cam Boozer.
He's got the start with the absence of Patrick Dunbar in this game.
Harris can't hit a three. Cameron Boozer, offensive glass, lost it.
So look, Cam Boozer here, he had some turnovers in this game, and it's going to happen, but he's also kind of getting a LeBron treatment in these last few games. It's kind of happened throughout the year, but in the last 2 games, it's been noticeable to where refs don't know how to call calls for him because he's so damn strong. It's kind of like LeBron, where sometimes as a LeBron fan, I felt that he was hacked often and wouldn't get foul calls because of he was too damn strong, especially with the Miami Heat days. But here, I just felt like Cam got swiped and no call because, again, he's so big, it's hard to call fouls or what are fouls and what are not when a guy is that big playing basketball.
Indricitis, a deep one is way short. Cialepa saves it to Brown. He's in the crowd. Duke's got a 5-on-4. Foster into the paint, little bump and scores.
Keep being aggressive in transition, Foster. And also, good job by Dame finding that point guard and letting him dictate going to the rim. Good sneaky play by Dame Sarr.
Once again, Caleb Foster. Still 13 minutes remaining. I'm sure they will get close to that as Will Dunning Jr. comes up with a nice turnover.
Indricitis.
As I just complimented Dame Sarr, this is the Dame Sarr experience where I think this is the next offense possession or something like that. But look, you turn it over right here. Turn it over. Don't stop playing and point up that it's either your fault or whatever you're doing. Just you got to get back because now you're talking to yourself or Isaiah or whatever, and then the ball goes right by you because you're talking during transition defense. And so now Caleb Foster is left on a 2-on-1 break, and he's just trying to make a play, and now it's a 3-point play because you're talking during a fast break. Just get back, and then you talk on the dead ball that it's your fault and why it's your fault. Just get back. Just get back.
For the game, but Cialepa has the offensive rebound. Indricitis misses a three.
But to beat Duke, those are the buckets you have to have. And it ends up
So Darren started the second half over Isaiah. This is Isaiah's first stint playing off the bench. He came in probably around the 14-minute mark or something like that. It was a healthy sit, and he came out very aggressive, and that was a hell of a take in transition, a big bucket that Duke needed, and he was a man possessed in the second half.
The two locating see you left, but got a great look, just unable to get it to go.
Foster and the switch with Corin. Foster can't shake him. Deep three for Evans, and he's
beautiful shot, tough shot, but the difference that Isaiah did in this game, they talked about on the broadcast too, is he's shooting on balance. All these shots that he shot in this game, I think one might have been off balance in the first half for contested two. Besides that, everything, his shoulders were square to the rim, and that's kind of something that he's been inconsistent with this year with his high difficulty shots, to where, you know, the shoulders need to be squared up more, and he did that in almost every shot in the second half and then in the game. But I'm going to play this back further so you can see the offensive set, to where this is just Malik showing, and then it's the go screen action with Isaiah, to where if Isaiah's guy stays thinking, you know, guard to guard, they're going to switch this, then this is that kick out to Isaiah for a three. But Pitt stays home, to where now Caleb, the next read is get downhill and take your guy off the dribble. He does that, gets in the paint, gets a paint touch. This is where Jimenez still trying to figure out, hey, move without the basketball. Now it's kind of a log jam on this side, but luckily Jimenez moves last second. It's to Isaiah, and though the hand is up and it's a contest, Isaiah's shoulders are square to the rim, and that's all that matters for him when he shoots the basketball. It's his shoulders being squared, and that was butter.
Great possession defensively and turning it into offense for Barry Dunning Jr., who has 15 points on the evening.
Duke is shooting it at 53%. I feel like it because they have 10 turnovers and they're only 4 for 15 from 3. Boozer out of a double team, airmails it.
And again, this is where I feel for Nick Jimenez, because Corey Alexander said in the broadcast that Jimenez needs to stay there when the double team happens for the kick. And that's what Cam Boozer is thinking there. But I think Nick Jimenez is making the right decision here. Sometimes basketball is just two different reads on a play, and that's what happens. Miscommunication. I think this is the right play for Nick Jimenez making this cut, as Cam Boozer is anticipating him staying there, because Jimenez knows that the shot is feeling weird, that three-point shot is not there for him recently. He needs to get to the bucket. That's the way he needs to go. And also, as I've said, when you see your guys getting doubled, you flash to the ball and make that pass shorter. Jimenez is trying to do that, and then you see Caleb Foster's defender is now going after Jimenez. So if Jimenez does catch this, then Jimenez catches it, swing to his shooter in the corner, knocks down a three. Just miscommunication between Jimenez and Cam Boozer, as you know, nothing is going for Jimenez, going for his way offensively. But again, like I said in this whole film breakdown, he just needs to keep his head down and keep pushing, because better days are ahead for him. But as I also said, I thought he made the right play there.
So one of the turnovers we
weekend long, Missouri, NC State, A&M, NC State, and Duke, Missouri on the ACC network, Friday, Saturdays.
Again, shoulders squared, and Corey Alexander saying that Tyler Thornton was celebrating with Isaiah Evans here and then telling him to get back. No, the Duke coaches were not happy. Get your ass back on defense. And that's why Isaiah was smiling getting back on defense, because his coaches were getting on to him, not because Tyler Thornton was celebrating with them. Just a very funny play there. And also, you saw his shoulders being square, and what happens? Ball goes to the net.
That regardless of the 4 turnovers, he's still the guy that can deliver at the end. Malik Brown getting his shot blocked at the basket off a nice find from Caden Boozer.
Tommy Sarr sticks it.
Now Duke's finding their rhythm. It took him a while, but Pitt's a weird place, sleepy place to play, and good play by Caden Boozer for the dump off to Malik Brown. It gets blocked, but Duke stays with it. But look at Dame Sarr. Watch Dame Sarr this whole possession. This is why I say you kind of create your own luck, because he is standing at the second tee on Pitt right now. He watches Isaiah drive right here, and then Dame just follows him. Just follow the ball around the perimeter, and the ball finds you. That is such a great play by Dame Sarr to move without the basketball. Great play by Isaiah driving, obviously, but Isaiah knows there needs to be somebody in that corner right there on a driving kick, and it's Dame Sarr coming out of nowhere, just covering so much ground right here. Perfect timing, perfect flow, driving kick. That's beautiful basketball.
Tied for 347th in the country at 66.7%. Regrettably, they've gotten worse. They're 0 for 5 tonight. Boozer to Evans, trying to get free off a Brown screen. Evans sticks it top.
Those shoulder square, baby. Shoulder square.
The key three.
It doesn't take them. Let's put on the score.
Will Wade last night, when NC State got bludgeoned at Louisville, said it was one loss. It doesn't count for 3, though it should. So we can make up the rules as we go along here in the league.
I don't know many players making this animal with their offhand while being shoved like that. Good play design, again by Shire. Pull it back a little bit so we can see the whole thing. So Foster setting the down screen for Cam to get it, and Cam's just catch and handoff. And then it's, it's pick and roll basically with him being on the wing, but it's just them two on the right side of the floor. And now Caleb Foster is coming up in case two guys show for Cam Boozer, and the ball's there, right? Cam's open right there. Little hesitation delay by Caden, but everything's fine. Everything works out, and then just a forearm to the rib cage and one with the offhand. That's what makes Cam Boozer Cam Boozer. That dude is strong as an ox.
Pitt can make a free throw. Foster on the handoff from Brown has the switch with the big Corin. Foster goes right at him.
I mean, Jesus, dude. That's what I'm telling you. This makes me so pumped for Caleb Foster coming off of this handoff. And then it's a big man. It is Pitt's big guy. And he has him dancing. But then Pitt's defender does a good job. Big fella does a good job of staying with Caleb Foster. But Caleb Foster just jumps through him, through the chest of the big fella that early to where the big fella cannot shot block this. And he gets a straight attempt to the backboard because of that. Jumping with that shoulder into the big man's chest does not feel good when you're the defender. And Caleb Foster doing this and doing it consistently like he did in this game, and he's done it at Louisville. If he can just continue to do that, I mean, it adds so much to Duke's offense. And he had 3 straight great possessions offensively, and that was the first one, and here's the second one, and we're going to end the video on the third one.
From Harrisburg. Best scoring year, best field goal percentage, best passing year of his 3 at Duke.
Well, he's got a permanent role. He's their point guard on the season, and this is really where he can help this.
And Caleb Foster to seize command of this game down the stretch. The third-year Duke guard senses an opportunity, kicks it for Evans, off the shot fake, hits a dagger.
And that's the perfect one to end on. Perfect one to end on, just similar to the first half where Caleb Foster's driving. He threw it with his left hand to Isaiah Evans in the first half in the corner for a 3. And this time, big body guard, gets the right angle against a smaller guard, and there's just no chance in getting back in front of Caleb Foster there going downhill. He draws all 5 guys essentially around him as he has the basketball, finds his shooter in the corner. Isaiah Evans, pump fake, dribble to the right, shoulder square, bottom of the net. Duke wins this game. It wasn't pretty for the most part, but this is the type of performance that I'm always excited to see from a letdown spot, a sluggish spot, whatever you want to call it. An emotional loss against UNC. You're without your starting center, Pat Gungbun, for who knows how long, and Clemson's on deck. This could have been a look-ahead spot for Clemson. Instead, Duke gets a gritty win at Pitt. I'm more than pleased with what I saw. Great job by Caleb Foster, Isaiah Evans, Caden Boozer, and Darren Harris, and everybody else. But those 4 guys I thought played really well for Duke. I'm happy that I could have done this breakdown again. 2 breakdowns in, like I said, 2 or 3 days. And so maybe we're back with doing breakdowns. Maybe we are back. So I appreciate you guys watching and always supporting the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next breakdown.